The Deep Dive, the show that really cuts through the noise to bring you the essential insights on the topics you care about. Today, we're plunging into something that's been bubbling up everywhere, from the latest scientific journals right through to your social feeds, the gut health diet. You've sent us some fantastic sources on this, and our mission today is really to distill the real story behind this dietary approach. We'll look at its surprising history, its core principles, the powerful benefits, and importantly, what you need to consider before diving in yourself. So let's unpack this. You're here because you want to get quickly and thoroughly informed, right? Without all the overwhelm, we're going to extract those crucial nuggets of knowledge. The goal is you walk away truly well-informed, understanding not just what this diet is, but, well, why it genuinely matters for your overall well-being.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating here, I think, is how the science of the gut microbiome has absolutely transformed our understanding of health. It's moved like light years beyond just thinking about digestion. It's revealing these really deep connections to everything from your immune system to your mood. So we'll connect those dots for you, show you this isn't just another passing trend. It's more of a fundamental shift in how we approach wellness.
Absolutely. Speaking of getting top-tier information, if you're looking for more insights and deep dives just like this one, well, you absolutely need to visit Mind Expansion Daily. They are just an incredible resource for staying well-informed on a huge range of topics. And hey, while you're there, please take a moment to like and subscribe to Mind Expansion Daily. It really helps keep up with all their latest content. All right, let's set the stage then. When we talk about the gut health diet, fundamentally, we're talking about nourishing your gut microbiome. And this isn't just some, abstract idea. It's this incredibly diverse, bustling community of literally trillions of microorganisms living right inside your digestive tract. And it turns out it's far more critical than we once thought. It plays this central role in immunity, metabolism, even your mood. It's like a sophisticated internal operating system, isn't it?
It really
Yeah.
is, yeah. And the modern sort of understanding of this diet, it truly emerged in the early 2010s, and that was directly on the heels of these rapid advancements in microbiome research. Before this, we had inklings, sure, but large-scale projects like the Human Microbiome Project, which ran from about 2007 to 2016, they absolutely blew the doors open. They revealed the sheer diversity and the complex functions of these gut bacteria in just unprecedented detail. It was a total game changer for the scientific community.
Right. So once the science laid that groundwork,
Yeah.
how did this move beyond the lab? How did it gain traction with the public? What really propelled it into, popular conversation?
Well, once the scientific papers started piling up, it wasn't long, really. Health professionals, popular books, they started translating that research. For instance, the Microbiome Diet by Raphael Kelman back in 2014, that was pretty instrumental in bringing these kind of complex concepts to a much wider audience. It really migrated from the lab bench to the mainstream bookshelf, so to speak. And what's particularly compelling, I find, is how this modern science is validating something much, much older. I mean, think about it. What grandmothers in Asian and Mediterranean cultures maybe intuitively knew for centuries about fermented foods that they just felt good, modern science is now proving it right down at a microbial level. It's not just some folk remedy anymore. It's becoming like precision nutrition. It shows how specific bacteria from, say, kimchi or yogurt directly enhance your immune response. It validates generations of just, well, empirical wisdom.
That's a really powerful connection, isn't it, between ancient practice and cutting-edge science. And we've certainly seen this topic explode recently. Social media, wellness influencers. We've seen posts like you mentioned from 2024, 2025 on platforms like X, really emphasizing gut health's crucial link to specific conditions like IBS, obesity, even depression. It's become a massive point of discussion online.
Yes, exactly. And it's really vital here to differentiate this from your typical fad diets. The gut health diet is actually grounded in a growing body of solid evidence. For example, there was a 2021 study in Nature that connected a diverse microbiome directly to improved health outcomes across a whole spectrum of conditions. So this isn't about quick fixes or, restrictive calorie counting. It really reflects a broader shift towards prevented holistic nutrition. It's focusing on long-term systemic well-being, not just short-term weight loss. It's a foundational approach, really.
Okay, so if we're talking about a science-backed, holistic approach,
Yeah.
what does this actually look like on a plate? For someone curious about adopting this way of eating, what are the core principles? What's the gist of the gut health diet?
Right. At its heart, the gut health diet prioritizes foods that actively nourish those beneficial gut bacteria. And at the same time, it minimizes the ones that could disrupt that delicate microbial balance. So the first pillar is fermented foods. These are rich in probiotics. Those are the live beneficial bacteria. Think things like yogurt, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut, miso. They're vital because they directly introduce new healthy bacteria into your gut. They kind of bolster the population down there. Then you've got your fiber-rich foods. These contain prebiotic fibers. Now, these aren't just for you. They act as the preferred fuel for your existing good gut bacteria. They promote their growth and activity. So we're talking fruits like bananas, apples, vegetables like asparagus, onions, whole grains like oats, quinoa. They're essential for feeding that internal ecosystem.
Oh, okay. So one type brings in new good bacteria, and the other feeds the ones already there. That's a really clear distinction. Makes sense. What else is prioritized? Or maybe what's minimized?
Good question. On the minimized list, you'll definitely find refined sugars and highly processed foods. These are reduced because, well, they can promote the growth of less beneficial bacteria and also contribute to systemic inflammation, which is something we really want to avoid. You also want to incorporate healthy fats, especially those omega-3 fatty acids. You find those in fish, walnuts, flax seeds. They support the integrity of your gut lining and they help reduce inflammation throughout the body. And beyond specific food groups, consistent hydration is just fundamental. Adequate water intake supports digestive function. And critically, diversity is paramount. Eating a wide variety of plant-based foods, almost like painting with a broad palette of colors, ensures a diverse microbiome. And as we mentioned, that's strongly linked to better overall health outcomes. Finally, moderate protein intake is also part of this. Lean proteins like fish, poultry, legumes are included. But excessive red meat is typically minimized. Some research suggests it can potentially disrupt gut bacteria balance, at least for certain individuals.
I really appreciate that it sounds quite flexible overall. It's not like a rigid, punitive plan. Your sources highlighted that it encourages mindful eating, balanced portions, and a gradual incorporation of fermented foods to avoid, digestive upset. It seems like something you can really customize based on individual needs, which is pretty crucial for long-term sustainability, right? Okay, so here's where it gets really compelling for me. We've talked about what it is, its origins. But what are the tangible, real-world benefits you might actually experience if you adopt this way of eating? Why should someone care enough to make these changes in their daily life?
Oh, the benefits are incredibly compelling, and they really do ripple out far beyond just your stomach. Let's start with the most intuitive one: improved digestive health. The combination of fiber and probiotics in this diet works powerfully to promote regular bowel movements, and it can significantly alleviate symptoms of common issues like IBS, bloating, and constipation. There was a 2020 study published in the journal Gut that specifically found participants who increased their fermented food intake saw an increase in microbial diversity and a notable reduction in these kinds of persistent digestive issues.
Wow, that's a huge positive for anyone dealing with those daily discomforts, definitely. But what about the less obvious connections, like with other body systems?
Right. The next major benefit is enhanced immunity. This might surprise some people, but an astonishing 70 to 80% of your entire immune system is actually regulated by your gut microbiome. A 2019 review in Nature Reviews Immunology clearly showed that a diverse microbiome, one that's well supported by prebiotics and probiotics, leads to stronger immune responses. This could potentially reduce your susceptibility to infections. Think of it like giving your internal defense system a massive proactive upgrade. Then there's better mental health. This is where that famous gut-brain axis comes into play. It's a direct two-way communication pathway between your gut and your brain. It's not just a gut feeling, Your gut microbes are actually producing the raw materials, the building blocks for neurotransmitters like serotonin. A fascinating 2021 study in the BMJ found that diets rich in fermented foods were associated with reduced symptoms of anxiety and depression. So this means your diet isn't just about physical comfort, it's about your gut potentially kind of manufacturing your mood. It makes the gut health diet a really profound tool for mental well-being, not just digestion.
So what you eat can literally influence how you feel mentally. That's genuinely profound.
Wow. And I've heard some discussion about weight management as well. Is that connected?
Absolutely. A balanced microbiome seems to play a significant role in regulating appetite and metabolism. A 2018 study in Cell Host and Microbe linked high-fiber, prebiotic-rich diets to improved weight control. This seems to happen partly by enhancing satiety, making you feel fuller for longer, and potentially influencing how your body processes and stores fat. Now, it's certainly not a magic bullet for weight loss, okay? But it contributes to a healthier, more balanced metabolic environment. Another critical benefit is reduced inflammation. We know systemic inflammation is an underlying driver of so many chronic diseases, heart disease, diabetes. The fiber and omega-3s emphasized in this diet work to actively lower that inflammation. A 2022 study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that individuals adopting these gut-focused diets saw a significant reduction in C-reactive protein levels. That's a key marker of inflammation by an impressive 15 to 20%. 15 to 20%, those numbers are certainly impactful.
Yeah.
And finally, I imagine all these individual benefits kind of coalesce into something broader, right? Like overall feeling.
They absolutely do. Stable digestion, efficient nutrient absorption from eating whole, unprocessed foods, a robust immune system. It can all collectively enhance your overall energy levels and vitality. Now, some of the evidence here is more anecdotal, sure, but you see reports on platforms like X describing individuals feeling a notable improvement in their energy and just general vitality after consistently adopting these gut-friendly patterns. It's the cumulative effect, really, of a body functioning more optimally from the inside out.
Okay, but of course, no dietary approach is a silver bullet. It's important to have a truly balanced view. So what are some of the potential challenges or maybe negative effects you might encounter if you decide to go all in on the gut health diet?
That's a really crucial question. One of the most common initial issues is digestive discomfort. If you introduce high fiber or fermented foods too quickly, especially if your system isn't used to them, you might experience bloating, gas, or even temporary diarrhea. That 2020 study in nutrients specifically noted that gradual increases, particularly in fiber, are key to mitigating these effects. So patience and a slow, steady approach really win the race here. Don't rush it.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Your body needs time to adjust to significant new inputs.
Wow.
What about practical concerns like, cost or time?
Yeah, cost and accessibility can certainly be a drawback for some. Fermented foods like, say, kimchi or high-quality yogurt, they can be more expensive than their conventional counterparts. And organic produce or certain specialty items might not be readily available everywhere. However, our sources also highlight budget-friendly alternatives. Things like making your own yogurt or relying on affordable fiber sources like canned beans and lentils. Those work too. And that leads directly to another point. Time-intensive preparation. Fermenting foods at home or consistently sourcing and preparing diverse plant-based ingredients. Well, it can demand more time and effort than a diet that relies heavily on processed foods. For busy individuals, this is a totally legitimate challenge. But like with anything, meal prepping and focusing on simpler recipes can definitely ease that burden.
Right. And I imagine this diet isn't universally suitable for absolutely everyone, especially people with existing health conditions.
Precisely. Yeah, this diet has limited suitability for certain specific conditions. Individuals with issues like SIBO, that's small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, or conditions like histamine intolerance, they might actually react poorly to the fermented foods that are central to this diet. It could potentially make their symptoms worse. So for anyone with complex or pre-existing digestive issues, consulting a healthcare provider or a registered dietitian before making big dietary changes is absolutely essential. Make sure it's the right approach for them. Also, if it's not planned well, there is a potential for nutrient gaps. If you overemphasize plant-based foods without carefully balancing your protein or healthy fat intake, you could inadvertently run into deficiencies, things like vitamin B12 or iron, particularly if you're vegan or vegetarian. A 2019 study, again in nutrients, highlighted the critical need for careful planning in plant-heavy diets to ensure you're getting complete nutrition.
Good point. And finally, it's always important to temper expectations, isn't it? To understand what it can do versus what it can't.
Absolutely. There can be overhyped claims out there. Some enthusiastic proponents might exaggerate the benefits, maybe suggesting it can cure chronic diseases or be a standalone treatment for serious illnesses. Look, while the gut health diet is incredibly supportive of overall health and well-being, it is not a miraculous cure-all. Unrealistic expectations can unfortunately lead to disappointment, or worse, distract from necessary medical care. It's really about optimizing health and preventing issues, not replacing professional medical treatment.
Okay, so after all this discussion, what does this all mean for you, the listener? If you're thinking about integrating more of these principles into your life, what are some practical takeaways? How do you actually start?
Right. The key is really a strategic, informed approach. You want to maximize the benefits and minimize those potential downsides we talked about. Firstly, start small, especially with fermented foods. If you're new to them, begin with tiny servings, maybe just a tablespoon of sauerkraut daily. Assess your individual tolerance before you gradually increase. This gentle approach can really help prevent that initial digestive discomfort. Also, focus on truly diversifying your plant-based foods. The wider the variety of fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, seeds you eat, the broader the nutrient profile you'll get. And the more diverse and robust your gut microbiome will likely become. And remember, you don't necessarily need expensive or exotic ingredients. Affordable options like oats, lentils, frozen berries, a wide array of seasonal vegetables, they're excellent, accessible sources of fiber and nutrients for gut health. And I'll reiterate the importance of consulting a dietitian or healthcare professional, particularly if you have pre-existing health conditions or specific dietary needs. It's always wise. And finally, just pay close attention to your own body. Regularly monitor your digestive symptoms, your overall energy levels. That can guide you in making necessary adjustments to your diet over time. It's personal.
So we've journeyed through the gut health diet today, from its surprising scientific origins and those interesting historical connections, all the way to its core principles, the powerful benefits, and those important practical considerations. It's pretty clear that this approach, which is deeply rooted in cutting-edge microbiome research, offers a really promising and holistic path. It enhances not just digestion and immunity, but potentially even mental well-being. It's a fascinating look at how truly interconnected our bodies are, isn't it? Linking systems we once thought of as totally separate.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, this entire movement really reflects a significant and I think positive shift towards preventative holistic nutrition. Understanding the gut's profound influence truly changes how we think about well-being. It moves us away from a purely symptom-focused approach towards one that supports fundamental health and vitality, really from the inside out.
So as we wrap up, what stands out to you from today's deep dive? Perhaps it's that surprising, powerful link between gut health and mental well-being we discussed. Or maybe it's the way modern science is finally validating the sort of intuitive wisdom of traditional foods. As you consider all of this, maybe think about how incorporating even small, consistent changes that support your microbiome could create a positive ripple effect throughout your entire system, impacting your energy, your mood, and your overall health in potentially profound ways. Thank you so much for joining us for this deep dive. We hope it's expanded your knowledge and given you some new, actionable perspectives to explore. Until next time, keep digging into what truly makes you well.